What is up, everybody? Oh, I gotta change my little bottom line there. It is not day 2. I am here giving you the day 3 wrap up. And Mr. Payton live with you on Twitch. Only tonight, no beam tonight. On behalf of fanboysanonymous.com. And I'm Quailman. That's right. Oh, it's not Mike Payton. This is Quailman. Yeah, you could drink it in, man. Did I not put my cape back on? I took my cape off because I had to relax for a minute after I got home. After I got to the hotel. I should put this on. Hold on, I gotta take the headset off. Midlife. I'm not even in middle age yet. You wanted to see some strange people in middle-age crisis. Alright, so I guess this is a weird way to start my recap for the day. After everything was all said and done, I went to Five Guys. Five Guys! No. I was hungry. There's a lot of options. The nice thing about New York City, it is the city that never sleeps. And this night it did not sleep, as I went to get myself some delicious Five Guys. But when I walked in there, it was late. I had stayed for a late panel again at the con, and there was only one other guy that was there. Afterward, it would get packed. Like, all the people coming out of the con at the same time filled the place up. But when I went in, there was only one lonely guy there. He looked like he had to have been like 50 at least, or like 35 and in really bad shape. He's there in a Princess Leia costume, and I mean like the white dress with the buns on the sides, full garb on it. And he's just sitting there eating his burger, all lonely by himself. That was really sad. What am I missing in chat here? Five Guys the best. Oh, it looks like you guys love your Five Guys. No, I didn't go to the Five Guys across. There is a Five Guys near the hotel, but I did not go to that Five Guys. I went to a Five Guys in New York City, like a little bit outside of Hammerstein Ballroom. Is the one I went to. And that is a grape Sprite, and it is incredible. I love when places have those machines where you can choose what soda you get. Bomb. Yeah, their fries are pretty good. And yo, the guy hooked me up on fries. I gotta give a special shout out to my boy, whoever was working the grill back there, because he loved my costume, and he didn't even say anything about it, but I ordered a small fry, and like he put the cup in there, and then he grabbed like another cup, dipped up all the fries, and just dumped it in my bag on top of it. He hooked a brother up. So, shout outs, you the MVP. So day 3 of New York Comic Con. I have to admit, this is, if I'm ranking these days so far, this is going to be the one that I'm so far putting on the bottom. It is a little depressing because you've passed that halfway point, and knowing that the con is more than half over now was a little sad. What also didn't help is this morning, we started getting the tail parts of Hurricane Matthew up here in the New York area. So it wasn't bad, but we just had rain. It was just like a basic ass rainstorm by the time it hit us. My boy Mr. No Name. It's not, I don't know who that is. We didn't get it too hard, like I said, so it's not like things were flying through the streets in the wind. It was just plain rain. I didn't bring an umbrella. I didn't even bother. It wasn't that bad when I was looking outside the hotel room, so just went down. But still, it was humid, which was the worst part about it. It wasn't the water that was coming down, but it was so humid, and I was wearing this sweater vest. It was like really hot. By the time I got to the Jacob Javits Center, where the convention is held, I just felt so gross. Like, I didn't even want to do it. And, you know, after all that, you have to go and, like, get stuck into this sea of people. There's just people everywhere. Saturday is probably the busiest day, and it's just, there's so many people in there. I wasn't particularly motivated to do much of anything. You know, I had already looked over the floor, so I kind of half-assed looking through the floor a bit. The biggest panel of the day that I wanted to go to was a Stan Lee panel that was all the way back at Madison Square Garden, which I just came from there like a few hours before, and I did not feel like walking back in the rain all the way back to Madison Square Garden, which sits on top of Penn Station. So that's where I went through. I had to find my way all the way back there. Not down with that. So I skipped that, and I kind of regret it, because like there's never going to be another Stan Lee panel like that at New York Comic Con. This was it. But you know, I'm not really a comic guy. Like Stan Lee, like I have a lot of respect for Stan Lee. I do. But he is not like a big figure to me so much. I mean, like, you know, I recognize him when he does his cameos in some of the movies, but like, you guys know I don't read comics. I'm not a comic guy, and I appreciate some of the characters he's created, sure, but it's not like I'm like, Stan Lee, not worthy. Like, it's not like that. But I hold tremendous respect for him, and that's why I did kind of want to go see it, just because the final panel with him is like a special event, you know? But I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it at the time, so I guess it's a way to go. So I ended up staying at the convention center and just kind of like wandering around until the actual panel I wanted to go to, which was for Cyanide and Happiness. For you guys who have ever seen the Cyanide and Happiness webcomics, they are freaking hilarious. These guys have been at the convention the last few years, and I always go and visit their booth. But I did not ever get to go to their panel, because it was always late night Saturday, and usually I was out there with other people traveling with, and they didn't want to stay that late, and they didn't really care about going to that panel. So I missed it the first 2 years I went. This year I was like, fuck it, I'm going. I really regret not going the last 2 years, because it was such a good time. And the way this worked out, so I had a little bit of time before that happened, where I didn't really have any like thing else. I was tired. I didn't want to walk around the floor anymore. There was nothing else I wanted to go to. I've already checked off my to-do list, which I'll run down here. But I decided to just head to where the panel was, and it was like an hour and a half or so before the actual panel started, the Cyanide and Happiness panel, that is. So I got there, and they actually didn't even load into the panel that was before mine. So I got there, and there's just this massive line. I'm like, holy shit, is there this many people here for this panel already? It's like an hour and a half beforehand. And then I realized, oh no, this is for the one before, which was Scott Snyder feature panel, which was, that's kind of neat. Like, that's a name I know. You know, I'm not going to act like I know a lot about him or am a huge fan of him or anything like that, but I know the name. I know that he writes Batman, and I know that's a pretty big deal. But I got there and I'm like, fuck it, let's go in now, because the cool thing about the theater that this one was inside, they don't clear the room after the panel is done, as opposed to like the main stage, they clear that room out after every panel. This one, if you're in there, what you could do is when the panel before it is done, you could just try to immediately go up to the front and try to take the best seat you can. And that way you're like right up there for the next panel. So I was like, hell yeah, let's do that, and I'll get myself a nice front row center seat for Cyanide and Happiness. So what happened was, I get in there, and I'm seated like towards the back, like some stupid seat. I didn't even care. The time the panel's supposed to start arrives, which I believe was 7:45. And it doesn't start, and I'm just sitting there like, huh, alright. Time keeps advancing. It gets all the way until after 8 o'clock, like 8:10, 8:15 even. It still hasn't started. I'm like, what the crap's going on here? Like, are they going to delay the Cyanide and Happiness panel? Because that would suck. Finally, someone comes on the microphone and says that Scott Snyder is running very late. He got caught up with something else, and that they're canceling the panel, and that they're going to do a redo at some point that'll be announced. And, like, the whole crowd is, like, pissed. Like, oh, what the fuck? Like, oh, they're all upset because they waited all that time. And just as people are, like, starting to get out of the door, I see a bunch of seats in the front. I run up there and I grab the closest seat as I can, and like literally like 3 seconds after I sat down in my seat, which, by the way, I didn't get front row center, but I got second row center, so it was a pretty good seat. Scott Snyder gets up to the podium, and he's like, hey guys, wait, listen, I'm really sorry I was late, and like, people are like, oh shit, and everyone starts like rushing back to their seats, trying to get in, and there I was, already sat down, second row center, for Scott Snyder coming in, of course, the panel afterwards. Scott Snyder, again, I don't know a lot about him, but it was cool to hear him speak. It was cool to listen to this guy talk about Batman, and who doesn't love Batman, you know? So it was neat to get a lot of his insights on things, to hear about what some of the plans are for it, see what he did, because he was so late. He just did a full Q&A session, so he just told people to line up at the mic, and he would just go through the questions as much as he could. So there were a lot of questions about, you know, what do you do, crossovers, what some plans are for the future. Someone asked about like New 52's relation to the new canon of everything, and I don't know, I couldn't follow along with a lot of it, but it was fun to watch him talk. And it was just kind of funny also seeing that situation unfold, and it being late, and then him coming at the last second, how I lucked out. Important thing that I got to see was the Cyanide and Happiness panel. These guys are so damn funny. They did a few sketches to start out, and they had some games they played that were really cool. Like, they had this camera that looked down on the drawing that they have on the table, which was cool. It was very convenient. So they had the big screen over there that you saw what they were drawing. And they had one game where they would take the drawing, and then they would put like a piece of paper down in between, so it was like split in half. And then each other one of them would draw on half of the photo, or half of the drawing. And then they would pull the paper up and see what that created together. And oh my gosh, some of the things they made were ridiculous. One thing was like some kind of weird Hitler octopus monster thing. It's ridiculous. And then they started doing this game called Real Life Pokemon, which they basically just made up the names of Pokemons, and they had like a Pootie Pad and like Pootie Pies, and like that they made Pokemon that were like, it didn't really look anything like PewDiePie, the YouTuber. It was actually like a poo that was made to look like a pie, and then it just was saying video games. It was really funny. And then they started taking audience suggestions. So they would like pick one person and be like, hey, give us some kind of topic or whatever, and then they pick another person and ask them the same thing, and then they would combine the two. As soon as someone said Harambe, and I think it was like the second drawing, there was a theme on every single one where they somehow fit Harambe into the drawing. they knew how to read the audience. What can I say? They were assholes the whole time, which made it fun. They were insulting themselves and the audience, and like it just, the whole thing was just, I don't know, it was the vibe I can get into. It was a good time. They gave out the drawings they made to people in the audience, which was very special. And actually, I got something from them. I'll skip to this one out of my loot bag here. They were throwing out what are these? These are called F-bombs. It's a plush bomb with an F. So I got a plush F-bomb. Yeah, see, there's Cyanide and Happiness. Really cool. This is one of the cooler things I picked up today. Yeah, so that was that panel. That was really cool. That was a fun time. They showed some clips of upcoming short animated films they have. They had one that was called Smoke Signals, which was like, what if Indians, Native Americans, pardon me, back in the day, were trying to like sext each other through their smoke signals. So like the one guy was like flipping the smoke signal, said "Show me nudes," and the girl was like, "You first," and then he does a smoke signal that goes up into like a big straight line, and then two little puffs come up as the balls. And then he says, "Now you go," and the girl like shows her, like it comes up into smoke signals looking like boobs, and then yeah, it was funny. It's a lot better in concept than it's probably coming off. What I'm telling you here, the actual short ended up being funny. It has a twist at the end that I'm not gonna ruin for you fans. You could actually watch the short sometime and see it. The big one they showed us though is they showed us a full episode animatic of an episode from season 3, which is about this spooky haunted house, and this couple has to stay in the haunted house for, I think, 3 nights. And it's like one of those typical stories, like if they survive 3 nights in the house, they get the house for free. Like, you've probably seen this done to death. And what's funny is they find out the ghosts that are haunting the house actually end up being the ghosts of wrestlers. So, like, all throughout it, there's all these little wrestling references. Like, the ghost is going, oh, yeah! And, like, they have wrestling theme music. Like, you hear Bret Hart's music, and you hear Ultimate Warrior's music. And there's just this great little fun wrestling theme going out throughout the whole thing. And, yeah, so you fans out there who I know who follow me and are into the wrestling stuff, this is a must-see episode for you. And this was just an animatic that I saw, and I loved it. And when they actually finish the animation, be sure to keep an eye on Cyanide and Happiness Season 3. So, shout-outs to those. Those guys put on a good show. So, we're, I think we're going to go through the loot bag, and we're probably going to make this one kind of short. No, he wasn't. That's not a funny joke either. So, my swag bag for today, Black Widow Red Vintage. Is this... Oh, Red Vengeance. I was like, what is this, a wine? By Margaret Stoll? Yeah, I don't know. I got this as the bag for something that I will probably wait until the end to show. It's one of the first big purchases that I actually got. So, first thing I'll show you guys is I got a big foam hand. And, you know, you guys who watched my show yesterday, you know how disappointed I was that I did not get a foam, chainsaw for the Ash versus Evil Dead thing that I went to. So today I went to Star Trek, and this was a guaranteed foam hand thingy I could get for the new Star Trek Beyond movie, which I got photos of me posing in the captain's chair from that movie, which is really cool. That's where I got this at, actually. So I waited in line. It was the last thing I did before the Cyanide Happiness thing, because I knew I was going to wait in line for a while, so I went there and I was able to sit while I was waiting in line. And then I got to sit in the captain's chair and get photos of me taken in it. I'll be putting those in my full wrap-up post that I'll be making later on. But, you see there, Star Trek Beyond. Got some foam fingers doing the live long and prosper hands. I can't do it right. Come on. There we go. There we go. It's hard. And that wasn't the only foam thing I got today. As you guys know, I've been making lots of visits to the Nickelodeon booth, and was there a more appropriate day for me to visit the Nickelodeon booth than today, right? So, first visit I got Chucky Finster hair. It doesn't really fit me. I don't want to stretch it. Yeah, I feel like I'm going to ruin this if I try to stretch it. My head is way too big. But, yeah, Chucky Finster hair. So that's cool. So again, I mentioned before that I was upset that I didn't get that foam chainsaw from Ash vs. Evil Dead. So I went back again. I waited on that line again. In the rain, mind you. It was like barely drizzling at that point, but it was still some rain. I figured, let me give this another attempt. You know, I really wanted that chainsaw. So I waited in the line again. I got another fucking koozie. Fuck that shit. What else do we got down here? Oh, okay. So, while I was visiting the Nickelodeon stand again later on in the day, I went there during Nickelodeon Trivia, where you would wait in line and you would actually go up to Olmec, and Olmec would tell you whether you're right or wrong for a trivia question, which this host guy asked you. And the question they gave to me was appropriate considering my costume. It was a Doug question, and he asked, what is Doug's favorite band? Who knows Doug's favorite band? See if you guys can answer that. Doug's favorite band. Anyone know what Doug's favorite band is? I got it. And for answering it correctly, I got another Shrine of the Silver Monkey pin. So look at that, I got 2 of them now. Maybe I'll give one of these in the giveaway for you guys. You got one of you guys want that, maybe? I don't often get physical items I can give you guys, but maybe one of you guys can get that sometime. Gorillaz? No, I don't think Doug's favorite band is Gorillaz. It's the Beats. The Beats. They're saying great hits like Killer Tofu and I Need More Allowance. Yeah, so I got that one right. And speaking of pins, I also got another pin. I also got this at the Star Trek tent. Nice little Star Trek pin. Can't really get it to look too well there. There we go. Let's see what else we got here. Oh! I keep finding stuff that should have been put with stuff before. Let me just empty out all the small stuff here. Save the big guy for last. What is all this junk? Jesus, okay, I got more comics, that's right. Okay, so this should have been displayed with the Chucky hair, because it goes with it, but they also had Chucky Finster glasses. So, Chucky Finster glasses to go with the Chucky Finster hair. Can I get that? There we go. There you go, guys. I'm totally Chucky. Okay. I got a bunch of pins. I went back to Dynamite, which I'm sad. My Grumpy Cat pin fell off my bag, and that's the problem with wearing pins at stuff like this. They're going to get knocked off more than likely. So I already had one casualty. But I went back to Dynamite, and I got some replacement pins. I didn't get a Grumpy Cat. They were out of Grumpy Cat. But I got this gnarly smiley face thing here. I got, whatever this is. Some really seductive looking chick with a bat. Bat chick, I don't know. And probably the coolest one, a James Bond one. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. It's okay, it was Grumpy Cat. I went to Adult Swim. They had this booth where they were like talking like on a television show type thing, and they had these little pins that they gave away. I didn't even like open it. Let's see what's actually in on these pins. I don't know if I'm gonna load all these up before tomorrow. Let's see what we got here. We got, ooh, thank you Mysterio for the host. I wonder why I didn't hear that. That's weird. Thank you for the host though. So, stupid morning bullshit. I actually really like that pin. Okay, that alone was worth it. I don't know what this is. Crossworlds? Some guy on a piano? No idea what that is. ATB, thank you for the host. What is this? Development meeting, and then there's like a phone number? Call now? Is this some reference I just don't get to some show? I don't know. Let's see. Call of Karaoke? In like some weird lips with leopard print? That's really weird. William Street Swap Shop. I'm gonna call it. Okay, we'll do that in a second. William Street Swap Shop. Fish Center Live? That one's kind of cool too. Alright, let's call this number. I should use a speakerphone, yeah? Alright, let's find my phone. I'm gonna call this number at midnight. Okay, continue. I got the number in right? Yeah. Alright, let's take my thing off so I can hear it. Oh. Did I get the number right? Yeah, it's the right number. It doesn't do anything. Well, I don't know, guys. It doesn't seem to be anything. Alright, so I got some comics here. I think these are all free comics from the DC Comics stand. Yeah. So we got a Scooby-Doo team-up featuring the Jetsons. Oh yeah. Add that to the list of comics here with me. Clear off the small things off this stack. Oh my gosh, I have so many goddamn comics that I'm never gonna read. Okay, we have another Scooby-Doo team-up, this time with Superman. So if Teen Titans wasn't your alley, maybe you'll enjoy him even younger with Tiny Titans. Return to the Treehouse. This looks adorable. Scooby Apocalypse and Hanna-Barbera? That's a really crazy looking Scooby-Doo. And Scooby-Doo's reading a comic. This one's really small. I don't know what the deal with that is. We'll get that another time. DC Collectibles Showcase. This isn't even a comic. This is like a catalog. Heh. Alright. That leaves us with one last item, guys. And this was the big one of the day. This is the first thing I really spent some money on. And I don't really buy too many things at the con. I usually get like some kind of art to put on my wall. That's sort of my tradition. I buy some kind of new art to put on the wall. And that's usually about it. But today I bought a book. Yeah, I bought a book. Hardcover. This is a graphic novelization of the original Star Wars trilogy. All three movies, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. I saw this on the shelf. I was like instantly like, okay, let me look at this. It was the only copy they had. I was like, fuck. I don't know. I was like, so just, I just want to look at it. Like, I'll just show you guys some here. Look at this. This is the scene where they're approaching the Death Star in A New Hope. Boom. Yeah, I'm real. This one I'll definitely read. This I might read like right away, as soon as I get home. After I like get my bags unpacked. This is definitely going to be the one I get. This is going to be the perfect coffee table book, if I ever have a coffee table. Yeah. And that was today. Like I said, today was a rather uneventful day. I wore my Quailman cosplay, which I got a lot of love for. A lot of people saying, hey, shouting out, oh my god, it's Quailman! And a lot of people asking for photos, so that was cool. You know, that's always a fun thing to have people appreciate what you got put together. That will actually... How long have I been on for? 35 minutes? Short wrap up today, and that makes sense for a short day. Tomorrow is the last day. That's really sad. I'm not looking forward to having to be up early, because I'm going to have to pack up and get all my stuff out and check out before I leave. So that's another reason why I want to make sure I sign off early tonight. But I will do a stream when I get home tomorrow night, which will probably be real late. But I would definitely get one on there to talk about how the final day was, and then I'll be posting some articles onto fanboysanonymous.com about how everything from the con was. So you can peep those out, and then I will resume my normal stream schedule from there. We'll be starting off on Monday with the Raw Post Show, and we might just do the Raw Post Show that night, and that's it. And then 2K17 comes out on Tuesday. Mine is being delivered, so I don't know what time it's going to be coming in at. I have a feeling I'm going to get the worst luck, and it's not going to come in until like 8 p.m. But it's what it is. We'll deal with that as it comes. And And then we'll take things from there, guys. We got a busy month coming up with the WWE, Farming Sim, all the scary games I want to play, which I haven't played a single one yet. And it's already the 9th. I knew this month was going to be insane. All right, guys, let's find someone to host here. Who can we throw some love? Oh, I know exactly who. Since it is the spoopy month, I'm going to throw it over to another one of my friends who loves horror games. She is in the middle of doing a 24-hour stream, so that's why I think this is perfect to go over to her. /raid. Oh, yeah, I don't have a raid command here. So we're going to do twitch.tv/there. That's where we're going to host, guys. Really cool lady. She's doing a 24-hour stream. Currently playing The Wolf Among Us, so for those of you who didn't get to see all of my playthrough, you can find hers there. Anyway, go peep her out, guys. I'm out of here.